And that's I want to hit all those up in like 3 days. Longer than that.
Are you familiar with the Beatty Mansion in St. Joe?
The Beatty Mansion? I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah, that's fairly new.
You know that the Bliska expert. Oh, guess what? We're up for a break. So I am going to tell everybody this is going to be a 5-minute news break. So this is the time for you guys to go get your hot chocolate, your hot toddy, your bourbon, whatever it is you need. Set it in case you need one. You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. And for Teresa, get a baseball bat. You're going to need one. And we'll be back with Rick Rose and the Lynches in just a few minutes.
Going!
NPR podcasts are now available on every major platform. Check out all our shows at npr.org/podcasts. That's npr.org/podcasts.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. The CIA has determined that Saudi Arabia's crown prince ordered the killing of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. As NPR's Ryan Lucas reports, Saudi Arabia is denying the findings.
A CIA assessment has concluded that the Saudi crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, ordered Khashoggi's killing. That's according to an individual briefed on the matter. The CIA has not commented on its finding, which was first reported by the Washington Post. The Saudi embassy in Washington calls the assessment's conclusion false. The State Department, meanwhile, says reports that the U.S. government has made a final conclusion are inaccurate. President Trump spoke with CIA Director Gina Haspel over the weekend. The president says he's waiting for a report Tuesday on Khashoggi's killing. Ryan Lucas, NPR News, Washington.
At least one person is dead. Several others were wounded today following a shooting at a Chicago hospital. The gunfire erupted at Mercy Hospital on the city's south side. Details are still coming in, but witnesses reported hearing shots fired outside the hospital and possibly inside. Tracy Lyons, a woman at the scene, describes what she saw.
It appears that the person, whoever was shooting, retreated in the building. So that's why we was like in a hostage situation. It was you had to lock yourself in. The security officer came around today and said, you got to get down. You got to get down here in the building.
Still not clear as what prompted the shooting. Police say the suspected gunman is dead and an officer is said to be among those wounded. Officials have said the hospital is secure and patients are safe. A major development at Japanese automaker Nissan. Its chairman, Carlos Ghosn, has been arrested and will be fired for allegedly underreporting income and misuse of company funds. The company says Ghosn, one of the most powerful figures in the global automobile business, was detained when he arrived in Japan today. The company says the alleged violations involving Ghosn and another executive came to light after a months-long investigation prompted by a whistleblower. The 64-year-old Ghosn and the other executive are accused of offenses involving millions of dollars. Technology stocks continue to lose ground today, helping to send the market lower. NPR's Jim Zarroli reports the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell another 1.5%.
The market was down for much of the day. At one point, the Dow lost some 500 points. Technology companies once again led the way down, and the Nasdaq Composite Index, which is heavily weighted toward technology companies, lost 2.7% of its value. Companies such as Facebook and Apple have been dropping for much of the past few weeks because of concerns about their earnings, and that has spread throughout the market as a whole. The drop came after this weekend's Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, which highlighted tensions over trade between China and the United States. Jim Zarroli, NPR News, New York.
Checking the numbers, the Dow lost 395 points today to end the session at 25,017. The Nasdaq fell 219 points. The S&P 500 lost 45 points. This is NPR. Prosecutors in Manhattan appear to be pushing back against efforts by attorneys representing producer Harvey Weinstein to have sexual assault charges against their client dismissed. Prosecutors say the case should proceed. That's despite the recent dismissal of one charge against Weinstein amid allegations of witness coaching in the case. Weinstein was originally charged with assaulting 3 women, but a count involving one woman was dismissed after prosecutors disclosed allegations a detective had told a witness to suppress doubts about whether an alleged encounter was consensual. Weinstein's lawyers say as a result that the entire case should be thrown out. A big change for the next White House Correspondents' Dinner, the annual Washington Gala where politicians and the media mix. Organizers have announced a historian will replace a comedian. as the entertainer. NPR's Elizabeth Blair has more.
For decades, big-name comedians have performed at the dinner. Richard Pryor, Conan O'Brien, Stephen Colbert. Last year, it was comedian Michelle Wolf. Her appearance was scorned by some news outlets, as well as President Trump. So this year, the association has invited best-selling author Ron Chernow. He won a Pulitzer for his biography of George Washington, and his book on Alexander Hamilton was the inspiration for the Broadway musical Hamilton. In a statement, Chernow says the White House Correspondents Association has asked him to make the case for the First Amendment, and that he's happy to oblige. On Twitter, Michelle Wolf said the decision is cowardly. Elizabeth Blair, NPR News, Washington.
Crude oil futures prices closed higher today. Oil was up 30 cents a barrel to end the session at $56.76 a barrel on the New York Mercantile Exchange. I'm Jack Spear, NPR News in Washington.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I hope everybody's having a great time tonight. I know I am. I wish I had drank a little bit like everybody else, but no, I didn't.
We're all sober. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm drinking milk.
I didn't even get any water. I was busy talking to you guys during the break. So, but I'm gonna send somebody off to go get water. So,
Hit Ron.
Yeah, get it, Ron. Cassie asked in the chat room. She asked if the Sally House was one of your favorite places in the Kansas City area, Rick.
Kansas City area? Yeah. There's a lot of memories out of that place.
Well,
so that's what I always... I mean, there's great friends, great memories, great laughs. I mean, you think about it, we had some good times in there.
We did. We had a lot of fun. So, and, like
I remember the one big laugh
there.
What's that?
We made so many friends there. Random people that we just met that we're still friends with today.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you remember the lady coming down to the basement looking at me and saying, I don't believe in this crap? And then she looked at me with the ITC device. She's like, if that thing's really true, it'll tell me what my daughter's name is. And that thing said her daughter's first and last name.
Oh, yeah.
She looked at me, her eyes got as big as about a softball, and she was running up the stairs.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Were you there the one time that this lady, Ron had went and did walking tours with these people, and this lady brought her baby in the house, and she was going to go use her baby as a trigger object upstairs. And
a real baby or a baby doll?
Oh,
no,
real
baby. Real baby. His name was William.
Oh my God!
I've been there watching the kids play hide and seek with the kids there.
But the thing is Ron's in the basement with her, and I think you were there.
Yeah, I think you were.
And
she goes, "That thing really worked?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, let's ask a question. And she goes, "Okay, what's my baby's name?" And the Echo Box says Raquel. Well, I knew she had a little boy with her because we had a graveyard tour with her earlier. And I started laughing. I'm like, "No, you're wrong." And she goes, "Oh, no, it didn't." And it said Raquel again. I mean, crystal clear. And she goes running up the stairs. I'm like, surely she didn't name her baby boy Raquel. And kind of find out she did have a daughter at home named Raquel.
That was 10. The thing is just so you guys all know.
That's not a common name.
The thing is she was in the basement with her friend. I had the baby upstairs. I wouldn't let her take the baby in the basement. I wouldn't let her take the baby upstairs and use it as a trigger object. I held the baby and told the stories while holding the baby down in the living room. So
I was trying to throw it in the hole downstairs. I'm totally kidding.
So,
but that should have never even came. They should have even brought a baby with them.
People do whatever they. I mean, yeah.
Well,
we've seen younger kids go through there.
Oh yeah, the kids are.
A lot of times, though, people go to these places and they go, "Well, I don't really believe it's haunted." So they bring their kids and they don't think anything of it, and then a lot of times, as Rick saw, the kids see stuff, and the kids are all ate up with the experience, and the parents are sitting there going, "Oh crap! Now what do I do?" And so we have to spend our time as tour guides counseling the children and the parents on the fact that the kids saw something and what to do and what not to do now. And
wow.
Or doing the whole, like, trying to explain to the kids that they seen something, but it wasn't what they thought it was. It was just something that happened. And
right. And in the chat room right now, Cassie's talking about that I was holding the baby during the tour when she met me. Same kind of situation. I figured it's better for me to hold the baby and keep the baby busy while the parents are out off doing whatever it is they're going to do.
I think that's when Carl and Gary were helping us. I think that was that year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we've had, I mean, it's happened in 6 years. It happened probably every year. We had something happen where we had somebody with a baby or a child would want to take the spirit home and we'd have to explain to them. And it's not like it's unusual. It's not unusual. So, but
it's just with these people, especially when Ghostbusters had it on there, it kind of exploded into that, where people were just coming for that experience and they didn't think about what they were doing. And the people got to realize, us as tour guys, we were just there as a tour guide. We didn't sell the tickets. The Chamber of Commerce was the one selling the tickets to them. So it's not like we were letting kids in. It was the Chamber of Commerce letting the kids in.
Wow.
Yep.
Did anybody from the Chamber of Commerce ever investigate?
No. They Angie, the lady that was the one that did it, she was afraid of that place.
So she would sell somebody tickets with kids, but wouldn't come herself.
She was terrified of that place.
No, she would send.
She wouldn't come in by herself.
No, she would send me, or she'd send somebody else to go in, and that was it. If she didn't have to go in there, she wouldn't.
She saw the second time ever in that house. She saw Dr. Finney coming down the stairs
and never went back by herself.
And anything to do with it.
Nope.
So that's the city of Atchison, which I give them credit. They live up to their haunted, their whole haunted thing. Because like you look at Leavenworth tries to hide it. All the surrounding cities don't want people to know that they're haunted. Atchison's like, hey, we're haunted. Come on in.
Yeah. In fact,
but it's a money thing. Yeah, it's money.
Cassie in the chat room, she lives in Leavenworth, and
I think she's trying to change that.
But I'll tell you, I know Rick believes the same thing I do. Leavenworth is probably more haunted than Atchison, but they just won't let anybody check anything out.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, we tried many times getting into places, and they would say, no, we don't want events here, but like the museum in Leavenworth would call us when shit was going on. They said like he'd call us freaking out because she would come in and she'd hear stuff being thrown upstairs. Come to find out, over the weekend, the lady's tea set was moved to the other room, and she wasn't happy about it. She was letting people know up there she wanted her tea set. So she was throwing stuff and making noises.
This is the Carroll Mansion?
Yeah, and then Becky would call us. I think it was Becky would call us, and we'd go in there and have to settle it all down and play the freaking middleman for the spirits and the humans.
Because I know when we investigated the Carroll Mansion, we were the first.
You're talking about an apartment.
Oh, that was the apartment?
Yeah.
The Carroll Mansion, we were the first people to investigate that because we were friends with the people who.
Didn't he find out later there was a murder there?
Was that the apartment where there was a murder that you're talking about?
No, but if you're talking about the one I'm talking about, that murder, that was kind of freaky. That woman that moved in and had the brain matter still on the ceiling.
Oh, yeah. That was weird.
Yeah, she called us in because she couldn't even leave her front door because there was like a dark mass that was holding her hostage. And she was terrified.
I believe that she ended up becoming an alcoholic because she was going to John's place a lot.
Yep. Yeah. And that's John's wife, Becky.
His liquor store's haunted. The barbershop next door's haunted. His basement. He took us down there and we had a whole bunch of stuff that he was telling us about. And do you know that they're doing tours of the underground now?
That's awesome. That underground is where I got my first ever gift from Spirit.
Yep. So they did tours there this year. It's just, of course, because of the mold, I couldn't go. But I'm hoping to go next year because John wanted me to go up there and talk to the lady because they needed a new medium. And he wanted me to go and talk to him because he figured I would be better than the one that they had. So.
Hey, Rick, tell everyone what happened to you when you were at Malvern by yourself.
Which one?
The first time you went.
Well, the one that really freaked you out.
The one where you were, where you got the wherewithal, where you got the pinned.
I got the what?